Now in the fourth section, now we will discuss about another head and neck space infection, and this is the infection of the retropharyngeal space and retropharyngeal abscess. In this we will discuss about the two conditions. One is the acute retropharyngeal abscess, which develop acutely over a short period of time, and then the chronic retropharyngeal abscess, how these two conditions present and how we can treat and manage them. So retropharyngeal abscess, if you remember in the beginning of the lecture, we saw the retropharyngeal space, which is just behind the pharyngeal mucosal surface. So retro means back, behind, back space is the retropharyngeal space. Here in this diagram, if you see, this is the retropharyngeal space behind the pharynx, so retropharyngeal space. Collection of pus in the back of the throat in the retropharyngeal space is the retropharyngeal abscess. Now the acute retropharyngeal abscess, it's due to infection in adenoids, nasopharynx, posterior nasal sinuses or nasal cavity. Suppuration of retropharyngeal lymph nodes. So any infection in these organs, in these structures like adenoids, nasopharynx, portion of the pharynx, we discussed that the pharynx is divided into three portions. The portion of the pharynx behind the nose is the nasopharynx. Then behind the oral cavity is the oropharynx, and below these oropharynx there is hypopharynx. So infection from the nasopharynx can also lead to the retropharyngeal abscess, and then the infection from posterior nasal sinuses or nasal cavity can cause retropharyngeal abscess, which is acute retropharyngeal abscess. Penetrating injury of posterior pharyngeal wall or cervical esophagus. So if there is injury, penetrating injury to the esophagus or posterior pharyngeal wall, it can also cause the retropharyngeal abscess formation. Any pus from mastoid area, acute mastoid here on the back of the ear, we have the mastoid area. So if there is any infection of the mastoid, which is rare, not very common, but it can spread to the retropharyngeal area or the back of the throat. Clinical features of retropharyngeal abscess: dysphagia, very common because this is the infection in the throat, in the posterior part of the throat. So the dysphagia or pain on swallowing is common, or difficulty in swallowing. This is difficulty, phagia is swallowing, so there is difficulty in swallowing, not exact the pain, but there is difficulty. There is difficulty in breathing because of the swelling or abscess formation. There is obstruction in the respiratory tract, so difficulty in breathing. Stridor or croupy cough is present because of infection in the throat. Torticollis is also present because it's the wry neck or stiff. This is because of the infection in the posterior space of the neck. There is difficulty in the movement. Bulge in posterior pharyngeal wall is also present. So very, very common clinical features. They are associated with the retropharyngeal abscess. Treatment is incision and drainage of the abscess. As with any abscess, I mentioned, even with antibiotic treatment, sometimes it's very important that, or sometimes it's must to give incision and then drain the abscess. Even then the antibiotics will be effective, because the pus which is not drained, which is not inside, is in very high pressure, and usually antibiotics, if you try antibiotic without that drainage, usually those antibiotics are not effective in the treatment. Systemic antibiotics and tracheostomy. Tracheostomy, it's especially when there is obstruction, respiratory obstruction, then the tracheostomy is required, in which a hole is made in the trachea and then the tube is inserted for breathing help. So tracheostomy when there is very bad obstruction. Next, chronic retropharyngeal abscess. The cause of chronic retropharyngeal abscess, now the caries of cervical spine. Problem in the cervical spine is the spine of the neck. So any caries of the cervical spine can lead to the abscess in the retropharyngeal area, and that is the chronic retropharyngeal area. These caries of cervical spine does not develop over a short period of time. It takes long time, and that's why it's chronic retropharyngeal abscess. Any tuberculous infection of retropharyngeal lymph nodes. Tuberculosis also an infection. Usually the pulmonary tuberculosis is common, but sometimes the tuberculosis can spread to the other organs or structures of the body also. So in this case, if there is infection of tuberculosis of retropharyngeal lymph nodes, this can cause the chronic retropharyngeal abscess. Clinical features, these are the diagrams. You can see a tuberculous lymph node here. This is the lymph node that has tuberculous infection, and on histological appearance, on histology, it shows caseous necrosis, and then the granuloma formation that is present in the lymph node. And then we have epithelioid also macrophage. So discomfort in the throat, dysphagia. Posterior pharyngeal wall shows fluctuant swelling centrally or on one side of the midline. So it can show swelling with maybe in the central or one side. If it's in the central, it is central, but if it's more on one side or the other, you can always see the displacement as a result of that swelling to the opposite side. Tuberculous lymph nodes are found once the lymph nodes are removed and they are examined for the infection, then usually the tuberculous lymph nodes are present. Treatment is incision and drainage of the abscess, and full course of anti-tubercular therapy in case if it's due to tuberculosis. If it's due to some other factor, usually that treatment is given, but mostly these chronic abscesses are due to the caries of the cervical spine or the infections like chronic infection like tuberculosis, when the tuberculous lymph node is present, and then it can cause retropharyngeal abscess, which is chronic retropharyngeal abscess. So that was all about the section 4, acute and chronic retropharyngeal abscess. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.